long as you're not owing on it, that will be your security or collateral that I will hold in order to do business with you. They break open your house one thing, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well hear this now, Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go, it come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-Boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented, you have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network, Monday to Friday, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Just a rerun the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So, viewers, it's good to be back live on television. Last week, I was down, virus, but nevertheless, we give God thanks and praise for the health and strength. To the Muslim community, tomorrow is the first day of fast. So it gives me great pleasure tonight to tell you that with your intention in fasting, anything is possible. I want you all to remember that. Fasting is based on your intention. So I just want to wish you all the best, a healthy and happy fasting in the month of Ramadan, starting from Tuesday the 12th of March 2024 in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world. So as we start off our program tonight, viewers, remember those of you looking for cash, it's not a problem. You can contact Saeed. Remember, we are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Sugarwarners and 132 Cipero Road, Victoria Village in San Fernando. Contact our office from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. viewers with any one of these numbers that you are seeing on screen. Set up an appointment, come in, meet with us, and we can do business. So viewers, the Minister of Finance, Colin Imbert, has indicated that the government is yet to make a final decision on the SRC report and is awaiting a revised version before doing so. In an official statement today, the minister said the 117th SRC report is the result of a job evaluation exercise that has been taken over a decade to complete and was not a general review of terms and conditions of employment of officers under the purview of the SRC. How long has the Prime Minister, Dr. Saieed Ali, how long has he been the Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Colin Imbert? Not a decade. Not a decade. $80,000 the SRC wants to give the Prime Minister. Did they take a decade to come up with that figure? Mr. Imbert, did they take a decade to come up with that figure? A decade is about 10 years? 10 years is a decade, right? How long has Keith Rowley been the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? So you see when you call him Imbert, once they use these type of strategies, just for the public to understand, well, you know, it took them a decade to come up with this solution. Keith Rowley has been the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago for probably around 7 years. 7 years. And it took the SRC a decade, according to Colin Imbert, to come up with this plan. Who Colin Imbert feel he trying to mama guy? Me? No, not Saieed. So if Colin Imbert did catch you citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, tonight I am here to tell you, your Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, has been the appointed Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago for 7 years. And not a decade. According to Imbert, speaking in the House of Representatives on Friday, Imbert stated that there were reports and the SRC now has to review and concealed flagged. Listen to this.
Regarding the 117th report of the SRC itself, there are several obvious anomalies that have arisen out of this job evaluation exercise and compensation survey. For example, for 16 key positions, their salaries have been reduced by as much as 15%. These positions include members of the Industrial Court, also called Industrial Court judges, the Executive Director of the Occupational Health and Safety Agency, the Director of Maritime Services, members of the Tax Appeal Board, and the Chief State Solicitor, among others. Further, for another 41 positions, their relative position or ranking within the civil service or legal service has been lowered.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, it took them a decade to do. Over a decade, over 10 years, all you're thinking now about cutting salary. Over 10 years. How did they come up with the idea to give the Prime Minister $8,000? How did they come up with the idea? Who? I'm gonna ask this, eh? Who is manipulating who? I'm just asking. He said, one serious anomaly was that the salary of Industrial Court judge be reduced, while there are some increase, such as the recommendation, 60% increase in the compensation package for the leader of the opposition. At the time, there was a public outrage over the timeline of the proposed pay increase. The minister also added that it was necessary to alert the SRC to the list of inconsistencies and that a revised report be prepared. Trinidad and Tobago, all listen.
In Trinidad and Tobago, of several persons under the purview of the SRC. In some cases, there was insufficient consultation with stakeholders. It is unclear whether that is a fault of the process, the SRC, or the consultants themselves. However, the result is that the 117th report of the SRC is unacceptable because of the serious and inexplicable anomalies that have emerged in the recommendations in the report. The Cabinet believes it is necessary to alert the SRC to the existence of these anomalies. Therefore, the Cabinet intends to refer the 117th report of the SRC back to the Commission with a list of anomalies so that it can revisit, review, and revise its recommendations and return a revised report to the Cabinet via the President for its consideration. It is expected that this exercise can be completed within 2 months. However, if within 2 months serious anomalies still exist in the revised recommendations of the SRC, the Cabinet will make appropriate and reasonable adjustments to the recommendations in this 117th report. Thank you.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, if the SRC doesn't give them a perfect solution or a perfect review, who is going to give them a perfect review? The Cabinet. The Cabinet. So who is going to benefit from this again? The Cabinet members, MPs. Those are the ones that is going to benefit. Remember, Colin Imbert, I want you to remember this. Colin Imbert got exempted from taxes. Colin Imbert was the one who pushed for individuals who owns multi-story dwelling apartment to not pay tax. Does Imbert own one? Are you supposed to know that? Are you supposed to know that? Does he own one? Yes. So he is exempted from paying property tax. While bring on a penalty for you, the citizen, now to pay property tax. And all run, go on and follow the form. All run and sign up. Now every single day, homeowners call inside. Said, look at the amount I have to pay now. When I told you not to go and sign it up, you didn't listen. Now you're calling me to complain. Now you're calling to complain. I didn't go. I didn't sign up any. I have no form to collect. And I'm not paying no property tax. None. What you all supposed to do now, you said we protest for KFC? We protest for KFC price high? We stop by. We protesting. Protest now for property tax. Moving along. Dr. Saieed Ali have stated that the government continue to search for information that will identify the owner of the 2 vessels involved in the February 7th oil spill off Tobago. The vessels are reported the tugboat Solo Creed and the barge Gulfstream, which overturned on a reef of the southwest coast of Tobago. Responding to a question in the House of Representatives, Dr. Rowley stated that whilst there have been documents and information that indicate connections with the vessel, the confirmation of ownership has so far not been had. So far have not been too satisfactory to the government. He added that the legal action against the owner remain an option available to the government.
To date, whilst there have been documents and information that indicate connections with the vessel, the confirmation of ownership has so far not been had to the satisfaction of the government. If legal action has to be taken, the government must be satisfied that we have pertinent and credible information as to who the perpetrators are and where liability lies. That exercise continues.
So Trinidad and Tobago, however, listen to this. Keep this in your mind. Some Tobago fishermen could not go to work. Some individuals lost jobs because of it. So listen to this now. Our Portuguese MP, Dr. Rudal Munilal, asked, what do the documents say? Who is the owner of the barge? Who is the owner of the tug? Hear this, sir. Bridget Annessa George disallowed Munilal request for Rowley to lay in Parliament the documents referred to?
In light of the words uttered by the Prime Minister, is the Prime Minister saying that 1 day short of 1 month after this disaster, the government knows absolutely nothing as to the owners of the tug or the barge?
Prime Minister. Prime Minister.
Well, since the member has problems with words, I will try to assist him again. I did say, Madam Speaker, that we had some documents. There have been documents and information. That is all the government can work with, document and information. I don't know what he's working with, but this government will work with document and pertinent information.
Member for Urupu Chiefs.
Thank you very much, President. Now we know there are documents and information. What do the documents say? Yes. Who is the owner of the Gulf Stream? Who is the owner of the tug? What does the document say?
Member, which question are you asking?
What does the document say?
What does the document say? People lost their work, money spent, and I'm definitely sure tax money spent to pay whoever it is did the cleaning. Money spent. So now, I am not blaming Dr. Keith Rowley. All I understand this. I am not blaming Dr. Keith Rowley. So we asking Bridget Annette George now to allow the Prime Minister to clearly identify the owners. However, Rowley stated that he does not have the document with him, but accused Munilal of trying to mislead Parliament by creating the impression that he said the government had documents which clearly identified the owner. Now, this went international. This went international. He added that the government cannot act upon hearsay or she say, and must act on evidence that is justifiable in a court of law. To this now.
Madam Speaker, I do not have the documents in front of me, and I do not have the documents in front of me, but these are documents pertaining to the issue of who owns the vessels, at what time, where the vessels might have been, and what they might have been doing. I simply want to say, Madam Speaker, contrary to the misinformation, this, whatever happened, could have happened in open international waters when a barge disconnected from its hauler and drifted into our office. If the others know differently, they can act upon it. The government cannot act upon hearsay and how you feel. We have to act on evidence that is justiciable in a court of law.
So now the question has been asked by me. Does the document that the government has, does it have in black and white writing who owns the tug? Does it have in black and white writing who owns the boat? And that is all the Prime Minister have to do, is to come clean with Trinidad and Tobago. Because cocaine float up, oil damage the reefs, fishermen cannot go to work. This issue went international. So the information that the government have presently, are they willing to share it with the public? To let the public understand. Now I'm going to tell you this, a little information does go a long way. The people will have confidence that, you know what, the Marine Department, the Government Department, the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the Line Ministry, whoever it is, that they are working a little bit. But when they hear 1 month pass now, and the Prime Minister or Ministry of Foreign Affairs comes to say now, well, you know, we have a little information on it. What information do you actually have? Because anybody could go up in Parliament as an MP and say, well, you know, we have information, you know, but we are, they could lie. They could lie in the parliament. They are protected. If I come up here now on television and lie on something, I get sued. That's the difference. Call a good night.
Good Saieed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
And Ramadan Mubarak to all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, particularly all your supporters. All right. Saieed, who is the top foreign affairs diplomat in Trinidad and Tobago? Who has to sell our image? Not the real vaccine vagrant. So if he has to project our image, why did he call the opposition leader in St. Lucia a tropical Trump? Now, let me connect some dots for you. He didn't say the S word, right? How will President Trump look at us? Will he say that we are a banana republic? Who like banana? Our Prime Minister don't like banana. We don't produce banana, not like St. Lucia. St. Lucia is a true banana republic. But let me tell you where I'm going with this. Let me show you how Trump will come and say, hey, you're a banana republic down there. We have in court right now a former AG has been charged for alleged misbehavior in public office because somebody conspired, a fellow by Nelson Gate conspired to do something and they charge him. But we have two attorney general. One now is a minister of local government, now is the sitting AG, has done something to me as a poor lawyer. Is an easy case for the police to prosecute. One of them.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, now listen to this, when this oil issue happened, remember the Prime Minister said, because of this disaster, they had to find money. I remember that. I want to let you remember that. The Prime Minister said, or the government said, they had to find money. They don't have money. Listen to this. Meanwhile, days after, the CAF, Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean, donated US $250,000 to the Tobago oil spill cleanup drive. The government didn't have to find money, Trinidad and Tobago. They did not have to find money. The CAF Development Bank of Latin America donated $250,000 to this cleanup when it went international. You know who found out? Pali Augustine. How did he find out? On an online release. Then the Prime Minister said, well, you know what? We got $250,000 US donated by a Latin American bank. Did they come out and say that? No, Trinidad and Tobago. They didn't come out and say that. They said we have to find money. We don't have no money. Where we getting the money from? This is the kind of information that is bring to all. This is the kind of information that is bring to all. So viewers, we're going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear Prime Minister saying crime all over Trinidad. Right after.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside, or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
So welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. Now listen. You see when we go for our next break, in probably about 15 minutes time, I have a little surprise for you. I have a little surprise that I will tell you something. 3 years I waited for it. 3 years. I toil hard. I work in the vineyard. And Friday gone, I got it. So it is something that I want to share with you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. That they say, when you hear your back against a wall, and you hear have a wall in front of you, the only thing you do, coming from my mouth, the only thing you do is trust God. Trust God. Well, a good night.
Pleasant good night, my love. How are you going?
My friend.
Boy, they beat up my tail last week Friday when they take all my money and then, boy, are you talking behind wall? They put me behind a wall. Pull on my hand, put a gun in my head, and take my money.
Which kind of happened?
That happened last Friday.
Oh, shucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Boy, and then my money was going to my little walk money. I took up my little garbage with them fellas beat up my tail and then.
Lord, I'm sorry to hear that. I
take care, brother. All the best, man.
You too, my friend. The viewers, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that crime is all over Trinidad and Tobago and called for an increase in police foot patrol in certain areas to curb crime. He also concerned about young people who are choosing crime as a way of life. Our real news from the PM for you tonight, Well, listen to this.
Mr. Speaker, I do not have the documents in front of me, and I do not have... In this era, where the criminals are all over the place, because there was a time when violent crime and criminality and murder was Laventil. Crime as a business has now permeated the whole country, so it's all over the country. From Cedros to Carenage, from Sandy Grande to Scarborough. There are young people in particular who are choosing crime as a way of life. And if you don't believe that, I'm only expressing my view. There are people in this country who are choosing criminal conduct as a way of life. And they have to be brought to heel by the state security agencies.
Now, viewer, keep in mind, our Prime Minister is also the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago. Keep that in mind. He also said, while the government was doing what it could do to put criminals in prison, there were others who were trying to keep them out on the streets, adding that he is not seeing any concerns for the witnessing who got them in jail.
So now, whether you like it or not, murderers can get bail. I want to say something to this country. The English laws that we inherited, that we're trying to be the best at interpreting, are for the English society. Once we decide it is for our society, we better understand that there are going to be some serious shortcomings. So now we are concerned, more concerned about those who have been convicted in the jail. But I don't see any concern for the witnesses who got them in the jail, who got them convicted, who now have to live on the same street with the murderer who has got bail and who knows who got them there.
I hear how he talking? All well and good. Listen this. He said foot patrols were valuable in helping police officers to interact with the communities, and added that he wants those who manage the police service to take that on board. Now listen to this carefully.
There's no substitute for dedicated foot patrol. Some policemen are required to walk the beat still, if only to interact with the people that they are policing. Having police cars brand new with the windows up, driving past people in the road, sometimes even when they're being flagged down, that does not help. I've had a lot of complaints from people in various parts of the country complaining that police car patrol driving through the area is not in fact a police patrol. So I want those who manage the police service to take that on board, and those of you in urban areas to understand that older urban areas than San Fernando and Port of Spain are still relying on well-resourced foot patrol, especially in sensitive districts.
Now viewers, listen this. Listen this carefully. Rowley stated that he appointed 4 persons to represent the government, while the opposition has not named anybody to sit down with the government. However, the Prime Minister said the opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisasa has made it clear that she believes he should be present at those meetings, a position Dr. Rowley has disagreed with. Now listen to this.
So I appointed 4 people, and I said, well, both sides will come with whoever they come with, and of course the Attorney General would be the convener, and he will chair it, he will convene the meetings, and we'll have some discussions to see if those things that we could not find common ground on, whether there's any possibility. I did that within a week of that being agreed as the way to go. Up to this day, the opposition has not named anybody. I want to repeat that. Up to this day, the opposition has not named anybody to sit down with the government team to discuss the matters that we are all very familiar with. But yet I have people telling me that the reason why the opposition is not doing that is because I am not part of the team. That sound like sense to you?
Now viewers, and in closing off this topic, this is what the Prime Minister had to say finally.
They sitting down with Chastanet, as if St. Lucia, who had Chastanet in their government to run their country, throw him out of office unceremoniously, but in Trinidad to try to tell us how to run Trinidad. No thanks, tropical chump.
This is what the Prime Minister had to say in his closing. So viewers, it's a whole bacchanal by itself. Now listen to this. The Prime Minister has stated that several initiatives will be coming very soon, which might be able to involve and protect TNT's children. The PM said there are some initiatives that will be coming to protect children, but it does not allow us to escape the fact that violence is inside the schools. Rowley stated that one of the things that was discussed at the CARICOM meeting was the kind of indoctrination from the part or from the art form young people are exposed to. Listen to this.
whether I am here or I am not here, those who take the decision to commit crime, they're proceeding apace. And we have to keep adjusting and strengthening our ability to respond. There are some initiatives that will be coming our way in the very near future, which we believe might be able to involve and protect the most vulnerable, our children. And that does not allow us to escape the fact that some of that violence is inside of the school too. That's another one of the stories we have. And one of the things that was discussed at this CARICOM meeting, arising out of some actions that a couple of governments had taken, was the kind of indoctrination that is taking place from the art form that many of our young people are exposed to, where violence is glorified and encouraged within the confines of the home or the schools.
Now, viewers, you might find us sharing a lot from the Prime Minister. I want you to understand, he is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. He is also the head of Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago. Hence the reason why I am sharing a lot, especially having to do with crime, coming from our Prime Minister. Because we cannot get from Erla. We can't hear from her. Now, staying on the PM, he said a larger effort is required because the upbringing of children is requirement in order to overcome violence. PM.
One of the things the government is going to be asked to consider very soon is the establishment of some kind of commission to deal with the involvement of families, where families can get help, can play a role in being more effective in raising children, because what we are taking for granted is no longer there. In an earlier time, the parenting of children by parents and grandparents and the society and the village and the towns, that was sufficient to bring them up with a certain amount of perspective. That is no longer to be assumed to be there. And therefore, a wider and larger effort is required, because that is a requirement. The bringing up of our children is a requirement if we are to overcome this period of violence and violent crime that so traumatizes us on a daily basis.
Now, viewers, the PM also talks about music. The government also noted that we, the government, has no intention to ban any Trinidad music, but is calling on those in the music business to help clean up lyrics. Rowley also was asked about the profilation of songs with violent lyrics and its impact on youth, considering the current crime situation. He stated that music has an effect on the human form, and if the expression of music is one that promotes the form of violence, then outright to be condemned. Listen.
I think the general consensus is that art, including music, has an effect on the human form and the human condition. And if the expression of that art, that music, is one that promotes and glorifies negative in the form of violence, then clearly it ought to be condemned.
And viewers, in the final closing of this story, this is the last words of the PM.
While we do not think that attempting to ban, but we can restrict in public spaces and on public airwaves certain kinds of tasteless, so-called genre. And we just have to be realistic. What is happening? what exactly is happening and not be afraid to say, we accept or we don't accept. And also I would go further, that those who are in the music business, who understand that damage can be done there, they may be able to help with respect to put it simply, cleaning up the lyrics.
So we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, I want to highlight two friends of Shogunas North. Two girls were friends. And I'm going to show you how they turn enemy when we come back after this.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Shogunas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
So Trinidad and Tobago, two female students from the Shogunas North Secondary School, Form 1, good friends. What happened to them? Take a look at it. Two friends, two female. Look at this, the one with the bag and the one sitting in front of her. Look at this, watch that. Look at that. They were friends. They were friends until this happened. How come? Why? Why? Now I understand. Both students were suspended from the school. How come? How come both students suspended from the school now? How could the principal of that school or the dean or the head of that school, suspend both of them? How come when officially the one with the red bag, the only one supposed to be expelled from the school? Look at this again, the one with the red bag. What is taking place? Look at this carefully. Trinidad and Tobago, you see this kind of thing is where I just kick against. Watch this. Watch this. So how is it now? I want to ask the person in charge of expelling or suspending students in the Shogunas North Secondary. How the hell you could expel or suspend both students? How come? How come? How come? Now Trinidad and Tobago, listen this now. The innocent girl is afraid to go back to the school. She wants a transfer from that school. And I don't blame her. You know why? She was sent home. Why was she sent home? Why? So I'm asking this now. What about if someone from your education ministry now who have a high portfolio comes now and suspend or expel the teacher, the dean or the principal who sent both of them home? How the hell you gonna feel it now? You have loan to pay, you have children going to school, you have to maintain your house, you have vehicle to maintain. If you get suspended from your job now without salary, how the hell will you make it? You are a total dunce-head individual. The one who collected the abuse, she was suspended from school. Suspended. Is that person cocky eye? I'm asking a question. Is that person cocky eye? I'm from Shogunas and I lighten up the Shogunas secondary school. I'm stinking it up. So the person who was, the girl who was abused don't want to go back to school anymore. She wants a transfer from the school. You blame her? No, I don't blame her. I don't. So this is what I want now. Somebody who is looking at that, if you're working in the Ministry of Education, could you please contact me? Could you please contact me at 339-1670 or 267-7325 to help get this innocent girl out of that school? Because she don't want to go back to school and the parents don't want to send her back to school. They don't. You could tell me you're right in a situation and you get sent home? Why the hell am I going back to that school? Why? Tell me why. I went to school to learn not to be bullied by my friends. And they were good friends. Very good friends. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Ali, I just want to highlight something. We, the resident of Clock Road, San Francisco, is not getting water for almost a month.
Clock Road is where, Pinal?
Yes.
San Francisco?
Yes.
How
We
long?
haven't got water for almost a month. And if the water do come, it comes very slow. It's not, people are getting the water, it's not going up to the in-kind. It's just the people in the low area will get water.
Thank you so much for highlighting it. Tell Geoff to pull the video with Mocha Sprinkler. Trinidad and Tobago. So, I have a van to sell. Those of you interested in buying crash vehicle and fixing it back, I have a TED new model. It's a 2023 BT50. It's automatic. It's 4x4. You know who love garages? Owner who love to buy crash vehicle and fix back? I have a nice BT50 for you to buy. Contact me tomorrow, 339-1670. And if you're willing to buy it, it's not a problem. It is for sale. So viewers, the nice van is just the front. Just the front of the van got into an accident. And we decided to sell. It's a TED, a 2023 BT50 new model. So viewers, I want a surprise for you. So for 3 years now, I was waiting on a registration, or we would say in Trinidad license, anyhow you want to call it. Anyhow you want to call it. We were given the permission from the Commissioner's office to run our credit union under the name Real Talk Credit Union Information. So which means we were forming. We had bylaws. We have everything documented, proper everything that was sent to the Commissioner's office. 3 years we function legit. They give us authorization So go ahead like that, and we conducted business. They never had a problem with us until our license or our registration came through. 3 years, I'm going to tell you something. Working hard, toiling in the vineyard, always calling, always following up. Now keep in mind, we have the highest in fixed deposit rates in Trinidad right now at 4%. I want you to understand that. There ain't nobody beating us back. So now, Trinidad and Tobago, as of Friday gone, there is no more Real Talk Credit Union information. No, Director, put it up. Trinidad and Tobago, there is no more information again. I am proud to stand here as the president of Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. That is our legal, some would say license, some would say registration. Trinidad and Tobago. Come back to me there. Trinidad and Tobago. We are now a registered, or some would say a licensed credit union in Trinidad and Tobago. I am so proud. I am so proud. So proud. The team, the board members, the steering committee, we worked for 3 years, almost 3 years. Delays. As of Friday gone, we are now a licensed or registered credit union in Trinidad. It's no more Real Talk Credit Union information, it's Real Talk Credit Union now. I was so happy Friday. I was so happy. Last week Wednesday, I was supposed to go Guyana. Boarding a flight at 3 p.m. Wednesday last week. Tuesday night last week, I ended up getting the virus. And I was totally down. Totally down. Weak. Vomiting, diarrhea, body pain. I couldn't move. And when they called and they said, Saieed, we're coming to visit your office. We have a package for you. I was like, well, to be honest with you, right now I'm sick. I'm under the weather, I'm weak. Saieed, when you hear what we're bringing for you, you will get strength. So I said, okay. Left my house, find my way in my office, and I sat and I waited. With the body pain, with the stomach pain, with the headache, with the dizziness, with my whole body burning up with fever, I sat in my office, I sat in my chair, and I rocked back and I waited. This package contained license or registration, as we would say, for Real Talk Credit Union. And I am so happy and proud. So now Trinidad and Tobago. Who? We're going to just now. Trinidad and Tobago. I will be opening credit unions for Spain in the north, in the south, in the east, and in the west. We are going to conquer the financial institution in Trinidad here with the best rates, the best savings rate, the best lending rate, and the best fixed deposit rate. I have something for you for fixed deposit, but all I'm going to hear tomorrow night. It's a surprise for Trinidad and Tobago. Keep in mind, we are now a registered credit union in Trinidad and Tobago. So when I want to know, Saieed, you're legal? Trust me. We are legal under every laws in the country. Every laws. But I have something that I want to show all you. Recently, WASA placed a ban on you using your hose. Correct? Big advertisement all over Trinidad and Tobago. You're banned from using your hose. Take a look at this.
What a lovely
That
day.
is what? It have audio to it? Trinidad and Tobago. Where, you know where is that? That is in Trinidad. Side, what part of Trinidad is that? That is Mocha. That happened over the weekend gone there. So when you hear WASA come and tell earlier, it have a penalty if WASA police catch all using a hose. You cannot use your hose to water your plant. You cannot use your hose to power wash your yard. You cannot use your hose to wash down your vehicle. But, Mocha, the lawn could be watered. So the WASA officials and the public utility ministers, I want you to take that and I want you to swallow it down all your throat. Does Mocha pay a water rate every 3 to 4 months? Hell no! Who gets the water rate? The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Who got banned from using a hose while paying for water? The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's talk now. Say something. Say something. You who paying for water and cannot get it. Hey, imagine this, Imagine this. The farmers and them from Arangwes. The farmers from Arangwes. All I remember when the WASA police told the farmer from Arangwes where they dig their pond, collected their water, run their pump, run their hose, and pump water from the pond to water their crop. Remember, WASA police wanted to charge them. All I remember that happened about 2 years or 3 years back. I stood right here and I told La Hunt on national television live, if you charge the farmers and them, let me tell you something, you had to resign. You had to resign. Now Trinidad and Tobago in 2023, no, in 24. This is the year 2024. WASA put out a bulletin where you cannot use a hose to water your plant in front of your house. You cannot wash down your vehicle. You cannot power wash the yard. They placed a ban on that with a penalty. Back up the video again. But them or that ground in Mocha don't have to pay a single bill and they get in water. Look at that. Look at that Trinidad and Tobago. Over the weekend this happened. Let's say something now. Side you're bashing, I'm bashing for the correct thing. You think I studying them on side, you can't wash down your vehicle? Use a police to come and use a WASA police to come and tell me about I'll run you from my place. I paying for water to wash my vehicle. I paying for water to come out the tap and spray down my yard with a hose. I paying for that. Is Mocha paying for what they get in there now? All they talk now. All the WASA police, all they talk now. Don't play all they come on my side, you know, because I'm taking a picture and I put it on TV. I'm putting up your picture on TV. That is what I'm going on. So don't come to tell me, Saeed, a person and I see you using your hose and you're watering your flowers and you're power washing your yard and you're spraying down your no, don't come and tell me that, partner. I taking your picture and I put you on national television. I want to put you on national television now. They say you charging me. I will put up Mocha sprinklers. So I want you now, WASA police, to tell me now who you going to charge for that. All come good, you know. All come damn good, you know. Because it stink up all you go get. All you go like it. Don't tell me I ban from using my hose where I pay water for while the golf course being water. Don't come wrong with that nonsense because I'll carry you to court. I will carry you to court. Said, you don't have a law? Yes, I'm aware of the law. Your Honor, who is paying for the water that is watering Mocha Yard? Who paying for that? Your Honor, who paying for that? You can tell me? If you tell me that, I will gladly pay my fee. Until then, get all your facts straight. Viewers, I am Saieed Ali. You're viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali, and it's good to be back. Until we meet again, good night.